So an earlier exciting development that we've kind of talked about is that Taylor has now allowed us to do custom Builder's Edition and gold label guitars, and we kind of jumped in with both feet. Today we're going to show you some of the very cool gold labels that have already arrived, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We are here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. You're super excited today. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, visit our spring store link below for custom swag. Check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional. Buy guitars from us. Come see us. Hang out with us. We're cool. Anyways,
Ready to rock and roll.
we got cool guitars. And this one's probably gotten the most attention since we've sent initial photos. By the way, if you want to know what's coming even before it hits the channel, best way to do that is either our social media or emails. So if you're not on those, sign up on our website or follow us on Instagram, on the Gram and the Talk and all the places.
Gram and that talk. This is a showstopper.
It is.
Chris and I spec'd out a big old handful, maybe 12. I don't know. Some of those were for customers.
One short of a baker's dozen.
Yeah. So this was one that we're both really excited about because we love walnut, and we had another really cool all walnut guitar prior to this. Now, this is a gold label Super Auditorium, and it's all walnut.
It's all walnut.
Top, back, sides, walnut. And there are some really cool things that they have not done on customs that we'll get into with a few of these that are options on the sheet. This one, not only does it showcase pretty walnut, but it's got the thin gloss.
Thin
gloss.
finish. Yep. Finish can act like a blanket, kind of suffocate a guitar. If you do it right, it'll show off the guitar and not decrease the resonance. This does a very good job of that. This is a great sounding guitar.
It's an awesome guitar. It's definitely adorned with the type of thing that I think fits with an all-walnut guitar. Grained ivory binding, simple stuff. Can you name the inlay?
It is little buttons.
I think that's little buttons. I had to look it up because I know we
chose
like it and we use it, but their names are so... There's so many. This is Imperial.
It's not Turnstile?
That's not Turnstile, okay. No. That's Imperial.
They don't have a Turnstile inlay.
Got the bindings going up the neck. And a simple headstock, but with the grained ivoroid in the new logo. You know
ivoroid is a theme that's going on here.
Yeah.
So you talked a little bit about inspiration. For me, there were kind of 2 points of inspiration for this guitar. We do like walnut, and a lot of builders we've talked to also adore walnut. It's a really fantastic tone wood. And Taylor used to have a walnut series back in the late 90s, the early 2000s. We did a really cool walnut build with Martin that turned out great. And so it's fun to use this. And walnut, I think, is just one of the most striking woods when you find something that's figured. And we don't just say this. Really, really, really high-end car companies use burled and figured walnut for interiors on very expensive vehicles. And usually that's just a veneer. So it's pretty cool to find something that is this fantastic. Yeah. Backstrap and walnut. Chrome toes, as we call it, antique chrome Goto 510s. But one of the things that has stuck with me for a long time, back in the early 2000s, Dave Matthews had like a late 90s walnut guitar that he recorded with. It was a W65. So for Taylor aficionados, that is a
12-string jumbo.
It's a 12-string all walnut jumbo, and it had the old 900 series inlay. It's a really beautiful guitar. I had an issue of him on the cover of like Guitar Player magazine with that, and it was like this. It was this no cutaway, full-bodied jumbo 12-string with really figured walnut, and I always thought that's one of the coolest looking guitars I've ever seen. So I was excited we could pull this off because similar ivoroid binding, very cool appointments. This is an awesome guitar.
It's great looking. It's great sounding, too. It does have a pickup much like the other gold labels. It's got the LR bags in there. But I love it. I think it's one of those guitars.
It's the hi-fi in this, though.
It's the hi-fi in
this. It's not the Element. It's the hi-fi. Oh. So it's the same control, which kind of throws you. But if you know, because
if you know, it's hi-fi, yeah. So this is a very cool guitar. Now, we typically, like price, we talk about it sometimes we don't. The Gold Label Customs, very surprisingly, have come out to really, really good prices. This one, I believe, is right at like 55, 56.
It's like $54.99 something.
Yeah. So that, for a custom guitar with these features and this type of wood, let's just say if it were a standard Taylor or Builder's Edition or something, I think that would be
It would cost more.
a lot more.
Yeah.
But Gold Labels, they've been hot.
Mm-hmm.
They've been red hot. And with all these customs, I think that they're priced really well. So.
And you still get those great features. You get the fan V-class bracing. You get the control action neck. Super auditorium body. And just ridiculous woods and a very cool sound.
Yeah. So take a listen.
Okay, next one. Check it out. It is a Gold Label with a cutaway. So, Gold Label, cutaways available as a custom option. It's going to be the Florentine cutaway, which I think is killer looking and works really well with the Super Auditorium body shape. This was a cool build. So, you want to talk a little bit about the idea behind this one?
Yeah, so Chris and I had some sort of specs laid out. However, this top was one of the moments that you hope for, which is the Andy Powers, hey, we got something cool. We got something cool, you should try this. So it looks spruce-esque. It looks cedar-esque. It is Alaskan cedar, which was in a completely separate stack, and they had just a few, and got to hear Andy talk about the sonic properties. I think we were going to go Addy on this guitar.
Yes, initially.
And he was like, well, you should try this because it's got some of the elements of Adirondack, but you still get a little bit of that cedar warmth to kind of
and a little bit responsiveness too.
Yeah. So it's a really cool top wood that I don't think we've used on a Taylor before.
I can't think of any builds I remember them ever doing with it. But it is very cool because, the one problem Cedar sometimes has is the
ceiling.
The headroom. The volume ceiling is too low, and that's not the case here. And the problem sometimes Addy has is a lot of headroom, but sometimes it can be a little too tight and you have to dig in a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's not present here. So you have a lot of overtones, and you get this great responsiveness with like tons of volume, which is a fantastic, perfect top wood.
It's a perfect top wood, and then for the back and sides, there is some AA grade Indian rose, which is just a nice looking set. I mean, it just looks very cool. It is all bound in koa.
Flamed koa.
Yeah, which koa with rosewood, whichever one is on the back and sides, whichever one's on the binding, they just
it's a
pair
good contrast.
Yeah, they pair well together. Of course, single out ring bound sound.
There you go.
Gets you where you need to go. I like that on this one there is no fingerboard inlay. There are still dots on the side for those of you who are going to ask, but it's very classy, almost
like classical guitar.
Spanish-looking guitar to
Yeah.
me, and I just think it works really, really well.
I really liked the idea behind here. We could have gone with like a really small dot inlay. The idea was to really make this instrument forward focus. And again, going kind of back into Taylor's history, they did a Chris Proctor model. He was an early clinician for them, and it was like a 912, but it had a wider nut, and it was an unadorned fingerboard because he's a fingerstyle player, and like most classical guitars, there's nothing on the fingerboard, and so if you're a player that tends to look at the fingerboard, I would say look on the side of the neck, because that's where you should be looking. That way vines don't confuse you and whatnot, but you do you. But I think this is a very focused on the performance and the quality of the instrument build, and still looks killer in like an understated, elegant way. The binding on the sides of the neck, by the way, that koa, contrasting with the mahogany and the really ebony, is really, really cool.
Chrome toes.
And the really nice, see, there's just simple appointments with that really nice inlay. And that is, which inlay?
That's Ascension.
That's Ascension.
Ascension, because you got to ascend into your
the
final
headstock.
form. Yeah, absolutely. This one's very cool. Take a listen to the top. I feel like how we described it, it'll make sense.
All right, staying on the Cedar train, we had to do this. If you watch this channel for any period of time, you might know this is one of our favorite combinations of tone woods on an acoustic guitar. We've got the Western Red Cedar on the top, Mahogany on the back and sides.
Who's hogging all my cedar? You know what I'm saying? This is Simple Jack-esque. You know, this is a very
classic,
simple guitar, but you know we love the 514 CE in many forms.
Yeah.
Preferably the Legacy form.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of our favorites in the Legacies. And then we also love gold labels. I think we did this and put this together before we even knew there was going to be a 514 gold label.
I think it was around that time.
It was around that time. But it's like, when is that going to happen? And also, we know it's not going to be with Cedar.
Right.
If they did do it. And so this is a very cool, simple guitar, maple bound, Western Red Cedar on the top, mahogany. It's a warmth machine.
Yeah.
But also, with the bracing and the body size and everything, it's still so big.
It's got that. So the combination has this airiness and what's the word I'm looking for? Effortlessness.
Mm-hmm.
It's so responsive, and the combination of Cedar and mahogany really gives you this. There's a lightness to the sound of the guitar where it just kind of floats there, and you can dig into it, and it sounds great. But you can play it just like so lightly, and it responds so well. Particularly with, I think, this build that they're doing with this bracing and the neck joint and everything. And it's simple, but I love it. This to me harkens back to very classic, mid-century flat top acoustic guitar design. We've got beautiful wood inlays, a really nice light abalone shell that works with the lighter, colors of the binding, the maple binding, and then this nice slotted diamond inlay. That is simple and yet, kind of, it's just classic. It's a very classic look. And it's funny because then we go with the gold Gotos.
Yeah.
Because it works with the warmth of the mahogany.
It does. There's also a surprise under the hood for those who know. This is the gold label V-Class fan bracing, but it's Adirondack.
Mm-hmm.
Which, with the cedar top, that's a cool combo because the bracing gives you that springiness, but you still get the mid-range warmth kind of cedar.
That was something I learned from Bob Taylor years ago. And my custom that I had built with them back in 2014, it's a redwood top, but I did Addy bracing. And what he used to say is that if you did like Addy with Sitka bracing, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if you add Addy bracing to anything, you get that springy kind of dive board response that Addy has in the bracing, and it works really well regardless of the top. So it's very, very cool.
Very cool. Take a listen.
All right, we're continuing a theme here with the last one that we have to show you. And that theme, if you've missed it, is focusing on the instrument and the sound that you're going to get while going with kind of a classic appointment that really just speaks to what acoustic guitars typically are. You can, in these builds, go really extravagant and get a more expensive instrument. But this was a really neat build. This is really in your wheelhouse. I really like this kind of classic build. I got to tell you, this one's already sold to a good friend of ours, and he was kind enough to let us feature this because these are the kinds of things that you can also do. So this one is a Super Auditorium. That is a classic pre-war tone wood combination. What do we got?
We got Adirondack on the top, Addy bracing, and then you got Rosewood on the back and sides. Now that is like an insane set. That's AA grade Rosewood, but it's really pretty. We did do the maple binding with the wedge because it looks cool. But yeah, the Addy and Rosewood combo with not only Addy bracing but also hide glue. What a rockin' guitar.
This is a guitar that has a very strong voice to it. I think the bracing that they're doing in the Gold Label series, along with the neck, the long tenon control action neck, and then these tone woods and hide glue, the Addy bracing, all of it combines to give this. I mean, the tone woods alone would give you kind of a loud voice guitar.
Yeah.
A lot of brightness, a lot of articulation, your really strong trebles that are going to cut through, and a really sonorous bass. And all of that thing seems to be amplified in a very just powerful way. This is a really cool guitar.
It's like, say you're at the gig, and you got an 814 CE Builder's Edition.
Yeah.
And you're like, I love this guitar. And then...
Where's the more knob?
Well, no, follow me here. Then you eat a shrimp, and turns out you're allergic to shellfish. But you know this, you got an EpiPen in your pocket, and you're like, and you pull out the EpiPen, and you try to go, but it hits the guitar. You hit an 814 Builder's Edition with an EpiPen, and this is what comes out. That's
an interesting analogy.
But then you rock so hard that you're like, and then whoosh, that's where it's at.
Despite that description, I promise you this is an amazing guitar.
I'm just saying, its airways have been cleared. It is ready to rock.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of adrenaline, and you're going to be having a good time.
Big open voice.
Absolutely.
Bone bridge pins.
Bone bridge pins.
Rosewood pickguard.
Yeah.
Again, classic look. Maple binding, maple rosette, bound sound.
Bound sound.
Maple binding up here. We did go, again, with simple position markers on this. So you do have the position markers. Again, classic look, something you'd see like on D18s and whatnot. I like that.
My knee.
Sorry. We echo the maple up here with the truss rod cover and then a wood Taylor logo. And then back to chrome toes. This is a cool guitar. This is the stuff you and I like really get into.
That is so that's the hard part. We got these four in at the same time. I gravitate the most towards this one, and it just happens to be the one that's sold. But I do think the 814E gold label is a pretty perfect guitar. Like, you don't need to change anything there. But you got the Honduran, which is very cool, and you got a little bit more of like the, inlaid pick guard or the engraved guard and stuff. And it's a very modern but classic kind of look. I think as an alternative 814, like mixture of a standard, a Builder's, a gold label, this is just, to me, a pretty perfect guitar and very classic. I do expect that hopefully some folks are like, yeah, that's the one I want, because price-wise, also, I forgot to
really
talk about
nicely
it with the
affordable.
other two,
Yeah,
but I mean, this is a little bit more than like a 814 Builders or gold. It's definitely more expensive, but it's under $5,600.
Yeah, it's like 54
something like that, which I think is a really good value for what you're getting with the hide glue, Addy bracing, Addy top.
all of these have a really great price point for them, and I wanted to stay there. It's very cool to kind of get the mix of appointments and options that you can within this series. One thing we haven't talked about is the label that they've created for these, which is cool. It's a new custom label that I really like. It's kind of got a French wallpaper-esque background.
It's nice.
Yeah, but this one sounds awesome. Take a listen. right, so there you have it. This foursome of custom gold labels. Really awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. If one of these strikes your fancy, make sure that you reach out to us as quickly as possible. I always like to give this PSA on these videos. 6 months later, maybe one of these is still hanging around. More than likely, they're all gone, but we can also do a build for you and help you, find the perfect guitar to meet your dreams. If you're interested in these, you can find out all of the details, all the specifications, and more photos on our website at
alamomusic.com. And that one's already gone. If they're gone, we have the spec sheets. You can look through the spec sheets, but think about this. This one is the most expensive. Right
Yeah.
here. And it's still, I think it's 6,400,
It's under $7,000,
something like that. But we're talking Addy bracing, hide glue, Florentines, thin finish, things that are wildly more expensive with any other builder.
Yep. Yeah, there's
So-
a huge value proposition. I know these are expensive guitars. Don't get me wrong. Someone's going to go, that's a good deal. Yes, in context, it's a very, very good deal. You can do some very cool, affordable stuff, relatively speaking, through the Gold Label line. And like you said, these are being very, very well received. It's a very cool sound from the get-go. Everything is standard. One thing I would point out, some people have not liked on the standard series, the Rosewood bridge and the ebony fingerboard. And I get that. I think it's a cool look, and there's reasons that Andy went with that. But these are all ebony bridge. We did go with that option. And so, you can do you, boo, as they say.
Classic.
Yeah. If you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, send out into the atmosphere and on the interwebs for people to find, and check back with us. For now, we're going to say so long, farewell, Au revoir, saying goodbye. To you, and you, and you, and you. Bye. You're supposed to sing at that part.